The issue of alcohol in the Bible. Now, Apostle Paul says concerning these things, I don't want you to be ignorant. I want you to understand this. Things are changing. Knowledge is growing. People are asking questions. People are asking the wrong people. They are getting the wrong answers. And some things we once believed we are being shaken in those beliefs. We are finding better reasons to do some things and not to do them. So I'll be quick. When we talk about alcohol in the Bible, whenever the debate comes up, where it really comes up, I mean, especially in a more formal Christian settings, maybe on Twitter or other places, there are basically three schools of thought on it. Those who believe alcohol is a no-no, scripturally no. Those who believe that I'm permitted to take it, but I just don't want to take it. And those who believe that Christians can take alcohol. Those that believe that Christians can take alcohol, it will surprise you even to understand that the communion in the Bible was alcoholic. And this is where they first come from and shake your roots. Several places in the Bible, in the Old Testament, God told his people to drink wine, which were alcoholic wine. And there is every tendency, not likely every tendency, that the water Jesus changed into wine was an alcoholic wine. You say, yes. Because the technology at that time is not as advanced as we have now. If you are taking most of the grapevine and then where they bring out wine, the fruit, the process they use, because of the level of technology at that time, you will have alcoholic drinks. You will have a content, don't even call it alcoholic drink, you will have content of alcohol. The way they kind of reduce the level of the alcohol is how much they mix it with water. So the more they mix it with water determines how much of alcohol that they get. So it's likely that if you are tasting any drink, you are mostly taking an alcoholic drink. So it was a basic thing. They don't have issue of alcohol, not non-alcohol. The issue they had was the measure, that the more you drink this thing, the likeness for you to get drunk or not to get drunk. So most of the advice that comes with alcoholic drink at that time was don't get drunk, take a little, don't take it in excess. Even though in some instances, God foresees the future, that there will be a season like this where we have a technological advancement. So in some instances, it forbids people from taking alcohol. Even when Paul was talking about elders, he talked about those that were not given to drinking, that do not constantly go ahead and take alcoholic drinks. So we have to understand that in the Bible days, the Bible is set in a season and a time, even far before Islam came on board. Thousands of years before Islam came on board, the Old Testament have been, and the New Testament have been several centuries before Islam even came on board at all. So you have to understand it in that period of time, that in this period, this is what is obtainable. Look at Abraham. Abraham married his sister. That was an incest, which was later condemned in the Bible. But at that period when Abraham got married, when we had Adam, Eve, Esau, where we had the first set of people to walk the earth, the chances of getting married to a distant relative was not even there at all. So the practical thing is to marry a close relative. As time goes on, when people were increasing, God began to tell them, do not marry your close relative. So by and large, the rules of engagement was improved upon, was changed. Now the excess was not changed, the purpose was not changed, but the system, the rule get changed. For instance, the reason God will tell people not to drink alcohol in excess in those times was because it can lead them to sin. It can lead to addiction. It can lead to irresponsibility and all of that. The purpose is the same. But now it is easier to fulfill that purpose by not drinking alcohol at all. So you realize that as time goes on in the Bible, God told Paul told Timothy specifically, don't drink ordinary water all the time. Because at that point in time, it was expected that as a child of God, you take more of water and not wine. He now told him, be taking little alcohol. That tells you that at that point in time, the consecration has been pegged at don't take it at all, except in instances where you cannot avoid it or where it is necessary. So in this our own age, if the epistles were to be written today, the rule will be do not take at all. I hope you understand. Now you can now say, it was not explicitly written in the Bible that do not take alcohol, or that what you are saying is not my concern and all of that, I'm going to go ahead and take alcohol. I'm not the gatekeeper of heaven, and I'm not going to say that if you take alcohol you are going to hell. But what God wants to prevent you from, you eventually fall into it, or you may eventually fall into it. And mind you, it's not just only alcohol. Even things that were stated specifically in the Bible, do not commit adultery or fornication, does not mean that anybody that has ever committed fornication before, they are going to hellfire. No, it doesn't mean that they will not go to heaven. But there's an excess. There is a reason why it was so stated. And if you define it, you will be defining the purpose. So it's not just about the act, it's the purpose. And if God's so good and have mercy on you, you may escape some consequences. You may not be able to escape some. Alcohol, for instance, a young man said his father used to take a little alcohol. Then one day he got sacked from his job. He came home, got alcohol, drank alcohol, and that was how his life of his father spiraled and then went down the drain like that. These are the things God is trying to save you from, and these are the things we are trying to save you from. So I insist that if you have the Spirit of Christ in you, Spirit of Christ will tell you not to taste alcohol at all. And then even those that wrote the Bible, that canonized the Bible, they were in conflict. That are we not going to use this Bible we're bringing together to limit the work of the Holy Spirit? Are we not going to use it to bottle the Holy Spirit and say, Holy Spirit, you can only instruct us within this realm? But at that point, they thought about it and say it is better to be a church with a Bible than to be a church without a Bible. So our read Bible today is actually the Spirit of Christ in us. So you cannot say the Spirit, you can only tell me what is within the Bible. No, because there is age and time. Bible says those men that understand times and seasons. I don't have to repeat the things I've said. My point is the same. If the epistles were to be written today, it will be there that do not take alcohol. And because the Bible can't be written every day, that's why we have the Holy Spirit. God won't say, okay, 21st century, take your own epistle, 20th century, take your own epistle. That's why we have the Holy Spirit, who is not limited, and who is going to tell you the right thing to do. So again, it's beneficial to you not to take alcohol, because it's not explicitly written in the Bible. So it was limited in the Bible. It was limited in the Bible and the book of Timothy is one of the books that is towards the end. So except for it is extremely necessary. I thank God today there is no extreme necessity that will ask you to take alcohol. Thank God. So that has established that we are not supposed to take it. But you may want to argue further and say it is not written like black and white. Well, you have the Spirit of God. And then if you take it to today, ask yourself, are you not going to defeat the purpose at which people were told not to take it in excess or to take it in a little form in the Bible or not? Paul only told Peter and Timothy to take it for medicinal purposes only. What else? And in the church, when they are taking communion, it was limited to during communion period. What else? I think there's something else in my mind I want to say. Okay, I want to talk about a brother who was sick, who was not feeling fine, and they told him, "We have a medicine for you. It was an herbal medicine, and it was to take it with alcohol." You know, you could say, like Timothy, this young man took this alcoholic herbal medicine, and he became addicted. We are still helping him, and he's doing very well now. But if it was to reverse time, he would prefer never to taste it at all. You don't want to taste it. You don't want to marry somebody who does not see anything bad in taking alcohol, because overall, when you check their faith, many other things will be wrong. You don't want to bring up your children taking alcohol, because when they go out and mingle with others that take alcohol, it's not going to end well for them. And when you see people that take alcohol who are Christians in little measure, whatever measure that they do, please leave them on their own and hold yourself tight.